Zion Missionary Baptist Church, located at 1800 South Governor Street, Evansville, Indiana, was organized in 1900 in the district of the city known as the Sand Pit. When a group of Christian women held prayer meetings in their individual homes, out of their desire for a community that would experience the blessings of God's faithfulness. These meetings proved to be fulfilling. Their yearning for God's faithfulness to continue throughout generations in their community motivated them to organize a Sunday school. However, they realized that in order to carry out this Christian ministry, it would be prudent to have a conventional church. Therefore, because of their trust in God's faithfulness, they proceeded to secure a building and to call a pastor. Zion was first known as Hudson Chapel, in appreciation for a donated facility by E.J. and Hattie Hudson. Ultimately, a building was erected in the Oakdale section of the Sand Pit at 1900 South Elliott Street. Several ministers served as pastor. They included Reverends Winfrey, Gold, Harrington, Martin, Hopkins, Bell, Bigby, Tidrington, Hazelwood, Witherspoon, Caldwell, and Terry. Under Pastor Tidrington, the church became known as Little Zion Baptist Church and relocated to a larger facility at 1901 South Elliott Street. In 1930, the longest-serving pastor, Reverend Dr. John Martin Caldwell, was called to shepherd the congregation. His 57-year tenure was extremely fulfilling. Dr. Caldwell called the congregation's attention to the fact that names were significant, and they agreed to rename the church Zion Missionary Baptist Church. Although the church and members suffered a major setback during the 1937 flood, in 1943, a mortgage burning ceremony on the building at 1901 South Elliott was held, confirming God's faithfulness. The necessity for an educational facility was perceived, and through God's faithfulness. In 1956, the old Oakdale School building at 1800 South Governor Street was purchased. God's faithfulness surpassed expectations, and it was paid off in 2 years. Remodeling was begun and finished in 1959 with the physical help of the membership. God's faithfulness fostered a continual desire for a new sanctuary adjacent to the educational building, and on September 24, 1967, the membership marched to the newly combined facility. Dedication of the sanctuary was held on October 22, 1967. God's faithfulness led to an early mortgage burning ceremony on May 23, 1976. Previously, in 1971, an annex for large gatherings with a commercial kitchen was finalized, and in 1981 it was named the John M. Caldwell Fellowship Hall. By God's faithfulness, Little Zion had developed into a multifaceted facility. Throughout the years, Reverend Dr. Caldwell continued to advance the education of Zion and the local National Baptist Convention's church community with numerous programs. He established Christian education classes at Zion, where accreditation certificates could be obtained from the Department of Christian Education of the Sunday School Publishing Board of Nashville, Tennessee. The first class, totaling 76 people, graduated in 1975. On March 9, 1987, Reverend Dr. J. M. Caldwell passed on to his great reward. We are forever grateful for God's faithfulness in sending us a prolific pastor and community leader. On March 30, 1987, God faithfully provided Zion with a visionary pastor in the form of Zion's assistant minister, Reverend Dr. Rudolph Thackum Terry, Jr. Due to Reverend Dr. Terry's knowledge of God's faithfulness, he led Zion to construct an updated and more extensive contemporary building to complement the sanctuary. The old educational facility was demolished in 1988 and replaced with the new facility. A Family Life Center was proposed and completed in August of 1995, which added a full-size gymnasium and additional accommodations, to better serve Zion and the community. For God is good and His love endures through His faithfulness. These additions extended the church eastward from Governor across Sweetser to Elliott Street. Great is God's faithfulness, for Zion's vision of a multifunctional complex has proven to not only be a blessing to Zion and the Oakdale community, but our sister churches as well. Zion, under the guidance of Reverend Dr. Terry, developed an extensive number of ministries for the betterment of our church members of all ages and in all of life's situations. These included tutoring, transportation ministry, a food pantry operated by church members, and many, many more. Among them, a daycare ministry existed for many years when the church family and community had a profound need for childcare. The Life Center also offered many additional programs to the community under the guidance of Zion's Community Development Corporation, ZCDC. After faithfully serving the congregation for many years, Pastor Terry retired from his pastoral responsibilities, marking the end of a meaningful chapter in Zion's journey. His leadership and dedication left a lasting legacy, and the church continues to build upon the foundation he helped strengthen. God's faithfulness continues through all generations. We look to the future as Zion embraces the new ideas of the younger adults. By providing a facility for community organizations and supporting our own newly developing JMCCDC, John M. Caldwell Community Development Corporation. These organizations will further transform and develop the community. Zion's vision of our future history is that we will develop and improve lives in the community and become a welcoming beacon, guiding lives toward God's saving power, for a better life here and for the life to come.